friends, welcome to this Ohio farmhouse. Today I'm taking you along on a little road trip and we're going to be showing you how we save money on feeding our big family. We have got 6 kids and so the grocery bill can get outrageous. So we're going to show you the places we go, how we go about getting good deals on things and stocking up, and just kind of how our whole system works. So first stop is a place called Old School Grocery. It's about 45 minutes from us. It's a Mennonite owned, kind of like a scratch and dent place, but they are notorious for having a really great selection of organic foods and things that I typically can't afford to buy lots of at home. So I can find really good deals normally on like cereal and granola bars and stuff like that. So we're gonna head inside and see what kind of deals we can have, and then we're gonna head out to our next stop. Okay, so I was inside, came in and got some permission, which is a little bit awkward to be in a store and filming with people around you. But we're doing it because I want to show you around. We save a ton of money by coming here because the same things that we buy at home are about a third of the price, maybe even less sometimes. We find amazing deals on stuff, and so we normally go home with carts. I say that multiple, full. So we're gonna get looking around and see what we can find.
Just where he was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead.
All right, we're back in the car again, and we did find some good deals. They didn't have nearly as much of an option today for cereal, which is kind of a bummer because it's kind of what I rely on being able to pick up, and they didn't have a great selection today. But we did find some really good other deals. We found lots of cheap candy, which is, you know, a double-edged sword, but the kids can pick up a candy bar for a quarter, and so we will put those in the treasure chest, and they have to earn those. It's kind of their reward for earning tickets at school. So that's the way to go about doing that, though, because it's so much cheaper. Okay, so our next stop is headed to the butcher, and we dropped off our pigs last week. They are ready to go, and this is one of the ways that we have figured out to feed our family meat for virtually free, and that is because we figured out that if we raise 2 at a time of our pigs, and we're doing 2 steers, and we'll do more obviously with chickens because that wouldn't pan out, but we raised 2 pigs and they went in and they're ready to go. But we still have quite a bit of meat left in our freezer from the last one, but we're running out of things like the sausage and the bacon and things that we used a lot more frequently. And so this time we just kept a half of the pig, and so we sold off a full hog and another half this time. So last time we figured out that if we sold 1 pig, that it would cover our entire cost of feeding not only that one but our own. And so we've been able to raise 2 of each kind of animal. One of them is getting sold to cover all of our costs, so that we're basically eating that meat for free when all is said and done. So we do have that upfront cost to get started doing this, but it ends up paying for itself really quickly because that very first time in, all of that money goes back into the pot and it pays for the next round. And so this has been a really, really huge cost savings for us because feeding 8 people meat on a regular basis, especially now with the increase in grocery costs, would be costing us a fortune. And so raising our own, saving a huge amount of money. And I think that our friends are appreciating this because we're not really advertising it and putting it out there for the whole world, but normally our friends jump at the chance more quickly. We'll put it out there that, hey, we've got, you know, a hog that's available, you can get a half or a whole. And so before long, we're gonna have a couple of steers that are going in. So our friends are appreciating that we're raising good meat that has, you know, it's all grass-fed, GMO-free. Any anyways, so it's becoming a blessing for not only our family, but for our friends. And so it's really been a cost-efficient way to go about feeding our family. So we're headed there. We're gonna go pick up our meat, and then we have to deliver some to our friends at church tonight, and one of our neighbors is getting some. So we're picking all of that up. We're gonna load it into the car. We are pretty well loaded in here already because we've got coolers and all of our groceries from our last stop, but it'll be a tight squeeze. We'll fit it in. So it's been a day already, but I wanted to explain to you a couple of other ways that we save money with our groceries. And the first thing is that we really utilize manager specials. Now, that's what they're called where we shop. They're just like the store's specials where they mark things down and there's discounts. But we do most of our grocery shopping at Kroger because their produce is superior in our area to any place else that we have available. That was somebody that's getting their meat from me on my phone. I have to meet them shortly to give them all of their pork. So, anyways, so Kroger has great produce, so we do most of our grocery shopping there. So really, we're just grocery shopping in a different way than most people probably are, because a lot of our method of grocery shopping has to do with what we have available in our house already, because we grow so much of our own food. So I take a look at what's in our pantry, the stuff that we've canned, that we have available, the meat that's in our freezer, and I base our meal plans around what we have. And then there's typically a handful of ingredients that we still need. So when I'm going to the grocery store, I'm picking up those few things that I still need for my recipes, but then I'm basing the rest of that on manager specials and the deals that I can grab while I'm in there on things like bread and milk and yogurt and the things that oftentimes are marked way down. We eat pretty much mostly organically, and it does seem like those are the things that go on manager special more often, probably because there's no preservatives to make these things last indefinitely, but because we eat things so quickly and we have so many people in our family, expiration dates are kind of a mute reality for us because we eat them so quickly that we never actually reach the expiration date. So even if we grab something at the store that expires in a few days, we're pretty much guaranteed going to eat that before it reaches that date, and we've never had any kind of an issue. So our grocery shopping is a little bit unique, but Ben is very methodical and he has this down to a science. Ben has gotten to the point that he is so, I guess, skilled with manager specials that he had, like, the people in the meat department who worked at Kroger, they had our cell phone numbers so that they could notify us when they were going to be putting a lot of things on manager special. They would let Ben know. I know that that's not normal. Ben just is very personable, and he would go into the stores and just kind of build relationships with these people that are working, and he would shop often. That's another key to getting good manager specials. You can't go grocery shopping once every couple of weeks and expect to really, I mean, you might be successful in doing that, but the way that we do this is that we normally have times where we're sitting and the grocery store happens to be down the road from our church. And so while kids are in youth group or they have an event or something and I'm in that area, I might pop into the store and just see if there's anything on sale. And that is a much more effective way, just stopping in quickly to just check out what the sales are and what kind of deals you can find. But I am definitely not as skilled and masterful at this as what my husband is. He has it down to a science. He actually had a path. He called it, I forget what he called it, but he had a specific route, I guess is what he said, that he had to take every time he went in because he didn't want to miss any of the good spots. So it's just a whole thing in our house. Sometimes he comes home and I'm like, that is really impressive how much stuff you just brought home and how much money you saved. So anyways, he kind of prides himself with that. Okay, and the last thing that we do to save money, and you probably can figure this out already, is that we grow a garden, and that has gotten significantly larger year by year, and we're trying to produce as much food as possible to put away and store up for the coming months. So we have completely eliminated our need for certain things from the grocery store because of how much food we're growing. Now that can get super overwhelming, and so I would never recommend that you just like go out and start some mondo garden because it's overwhelming and it's tiresome. Start much smaller, do a very small and manageable garden, and then grow into it. And so we're, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 years into gardening, and we're finally figuring things out, but we're still failing at growing certain things, and it's just a big learning experience. And so I used to think, man, I really stink at gardening and I just shouldn't do this because I kill everything. But really, it's just an experiment. And so you use your failures to do something different the next year. But by doing that and not giving up and just expanding a little bit more every year and adding to our gardens, we've been able to produce a lot of food and put away a lot every fall. So we're definitely saving money by doing that because clearly putting in a garden, I mean, you're buying a packet of seeds that costs a few dollars, and that is going to produce, pounds and pounds and pounds of food for you in comparison to buying all of that at the grocery store. So definitely start a garden. There are tons and tons of resources out there to teach you how to start a garden. I've plenty of videos here as well within our channel that can help you with that. But for sure, start something manageable and small that you can grow into. So those are just some of the main ways that we save money in our family from grocery shopping. I can't even imagine, I mean, we would be in the thousands of dollars for our groceries easily if we weren't doing these things. So I'm not even sure that we could afford to buy food for our family unless we were doing some of these things that I talked about. So if you have questions, throw them in the comments below. And if you have any great suggestions for how you're saving money on your family's budget for groceries, I would love to know what they are because we're always looking for ways that we can save. So drop those down there as well and help out the community. So I will see you next time on this Ohio Farmhouse. I'm so glad that you've been here.